Have you heard about this one? This is the real-life, would-be murderous saga of a former beauty queen, her college sweetheart, football-playing rich husband, and her younger boy-toy boyfriend from the Bahamas. It's not always better in the Bahamas, despite the advertisement, although it's gorgeous down there. Lindsay Shiver, a 36-year-old married mom, just wasn't satisfied with her rich life. No, she had to add a 28-year-old Bahamian lover into her mix, and when her husband found out, he filed for divorce. We're going to go over all the news out of the Bahamas and rumors. However, Lindsay has fought back against claims of adultery. Lindsay and Robert Shiver began fighting over their possessions, a private jet, their $2.58 million Georgia mansion, and custody of their 3 young sons, beautiful boys. But when her husband found out that she was having an affair, that's when authorities say Lindsay started to plot his murder. Now, Lindsay lived with her 37-year-old husband, Robert Shiver, in a 7-bedroom, 7-bathroom, 7,873 square foot home worth $2.577 million in Thomasville, Georgia. The couple were college sweethearts. Robert is a former Auburn University football player, and that's where he met the former beauty queen, then known as Lindsay Shirley, in 2007. She was about 20 years old. Now Lindsay Shiver, she had been once crowned Miss Houston County in 2005 and finished second in some national peanut festival pageant that same year. But this college sweetheart dream would turn deadly.
All right, Pozo, day 3 of the Pozo Push-Up Challenge. I want to give a special shout out to my wife, Lindsay, who had surgery today. Super proud of you. So I'm in the hotel room waiting to go pick her up in the morning.
The couple's 13-year marriage took a turn when Robert, 38, allegedly caught Lindsay having an affair, and he filed for divorce in April on grounds of, quote, adulterous conduct, according to court papers obtained by Fox News Digital.
That's what I always do, and they never catch me. Ain't nobody gonna catch me.
Because you're too streetwise?
Yup. And all these hoes laughing like something funny.
She's talking about the audience, that they're laughing at her.
Did you say that?
I've been trying to get these papers too. But in her response to Robert's divorce filing, Lindsay has denied an illicit affair. Her lawyers wrote that any extramarital relationship dependent has had during the party separation and legally condoned by her husband. And then Lindsay hit back with accusations of, quote, of physical and mental cruel treatment, including domestic violence. So this divorce got dirty. But the couple still lived together throughout this nasty battle. After all, they had the room. I mean, supposedly she was banished to the pool house. But Robert wanted everything in his petition for divorce. He sought physical custody of their children, the sole use of their $2.57 million home, and he argued that his wife Lindsay was not entitled to any alimony whatsoever. I'm assuming she's the one who's been raising the boys. But Lindsay attended Auburn University. She got her marketing degree, and she's capable of supporting herself. That's what her husband is arguing in the filings. But Lindsay argued for primary custody, alimony, and child support, as well as sole use of the home. So they both wanted this mansion. I don't blame them. It has a pool and everything. Lindsay's attorney wrote, wife feels unsafe in the marital home and has installed locks on the exterior doors and interior doors for protection. But Facebook rumors are saying that after Robert discovered Lindsay's affair, she was booted to their pool house. People are pulling up pictures and they're saying it's not a bad pool house. The lawyer for Lindsay requested a restraining order. Quote, husband has abused the wife in the home in the children's presence on multiple occasions, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally. That's what the filing alleges. When I heard that, I started feeling a little sorry for Lindsay, despite this murderous plot coming up. But then I also heard her lawyer's a bulldog. I don't know. Lindsay was born and raised raised in Dothan, Alabama. She said her husband hid money and cut her off financially. Lindsay's attorney wrote, "The parties have an overall expensive lifestyle in general. Suddenly, husband is not permitting wife to use the jet or have access to funds." Indeed, you see all these photos of her on the jet with her girlfriends. Lindsay also claimed Robert took off with their kids for a weekend and refused to return them until the police got involved. I don't blame him if he was scared for his life. Lindsay was scheduled to be deposed in their divorce on July 18th, shortly before her arrest, but the hearing was pushed back to October 31st, according to court records. Let's follow the money and see where this tale is going to end up. Robert played football at Auburn University and briefly even for the Atlanta Falcons in 2009 before he was cut his first year. These days, Robert is Senior Vice President of Senior Life Insurance Company, according to the company's website. And Robert is now private on Instagram, and he's likely thanking God that he's even alive, that he survived this sinister plot to take him off the planet, allegedly by his wife and her boyfriend. So Robert's dad, Alan Shiver, was CEO of Flowers Foods for 40 years before stepping down in 2019 from the bakery that's worth more than $5 billion. We know where Robert's money came from. Lindsay may have come from money too. Idyllic Instagram. Social media didn't give any hints of trouble in paradise, at least according to Lindsay's Instagram. On March 6, 2020, Lindsay wrote on Instagram, "The key to a perfect marriage is having two imperfect people who refuse to give up on each other." That was a quote from somewhere else. But she wrote, "So thankful for that fitness class 13 years ago that brought us together and all of the love, laughter, and life we have created ever since. I love you, babe. Cheers to many more champagne glasses." And she added her husband, Shiver G, but now he's private over there. Lindsay filled her Instagram account with photos and videos of the good life. Her and her husband, in better times obviously, and their 3 boys loving life, jumping in and out of swimming pools, doing polar plunges, traveling to Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, and other beautiful places. Yet, there was an eerie post from June 26, 2017, where Lindsay joked, "If Robert goes missing, y'all know where to find him." Crying, laughing emoji, just kidding, 6 feet under hashtag though, pool time. But these jokes would kind of turn real, apparently in Lindsay's mind, according to cops, once she started to plot his demise. Let's talk about her meeting Dexter St. Jock, as Eddie Murphy might call him, and how Lindsay got her groove back and arrested. "It's always 5 o'clock in the Bahamas," Lindsay bragged on May 16th, 2022, sipping a popular drink. I mean, it's really envious, it seemed, her life. By June of 2023, Lindsay was busy on Instagram liking some of the posts from a place called Grabber's Bar, the same bar and grill in Great Guana Cay, hope I'm pronouncing that right, Bahamas, that the 28-year-old Terrance Adrian Bethel promoted on social media. So I assume Terrance, her 28-year-old boyfriend, worked there. Was this the same Oceanside location where Terrance and Lindsay first hooked up? Celebrities can even be seen visiting the bar. There's photos of like Nick Jonas, along with raucous vacationers enjoying drinks and music and everything. According to the Thomasville Times Enterprise, a source familiar with the investigation said the Shivers have a home in the Bahamas where Lindsay first began an affair with Terrance. Upon Robert finding out about the affair, he filed for divorce. Just wait till you hear what the people allegedly who have the inside scoop on Facebook are saying about that. But the Thomas County Superior Court does indeed show a dissolution divorce separate maintenance petition filing on April 5th, 2023 for the Shivers, and many other entries follow over the next few months, including the defendant's motion to attach plaintiff for contempt, a notice of hearing, and notices of depositions and rescheduling. This indeed was a nasty divorce in the making. I was trying to get more paperwork, but Fox News ended up getting the real goods, the real scoop. But perhaps that's one reason why Lindsay allegedly decided to just skip the divorce altogether and do away with with Robert for good. However, right now, a divorce is likely the least of Lindsay's concerns. I mean, she's in a jail in the Bahamas, and I hear, you don't get treated any better if you're a woman or a different race down there. It sounds horrible. The real Lindsay. Facebook rumors are claiming that the house in the Bahamas has extensive cameras throughout because Robert's parents own that home, reportedly not Lindsay and Robert. And Robert's dad suffers from some sort of dementia, allegedly, so the house is surveilled 24 hours a day with video recording just in case of an emergency. Lindsay allegedly got drunk or high enough one night that she brought her Bahamian lover back to that house and proceeded to reportedly, allegedly, this is all rumors, do some very graphic things with him that were captured on video. Robert apparently, allegedly saw these recorded video activities and showed them not only to the judge, but to Lindsay's parents as well. Based on how this case breaks down, we'll be able to verify if these rumors are ultimately true. But prior to this event, Lindsay's parents had been giving her supposedly a sizable monthly allowance. So I've heard her parents might have money, but they immediately cut her off once they saw the video of her activities. Lindsay then devised a scheme allegedly to lure Robert down to join her at the house in Baker's Bay under the guise of the pretense of wanting to work their marriage out, but that's where she had planned to have her husband taken off the planet. Thank the Lord, by then cops in the Bahamas had accidentally uncovered this sinister plot of Lindsay to have Robert X'd out, and they were able to warn Robert and get to him before the plan could be carried out. I don't know how Lindsay and her Bahama boyfriend and his friend were planning to get rid of Robert, but Lindsay was allegedly in a desperate financial state, in fear of losing her kids, and that's why she created this horrible scheme. Apparently, Facebook rumors say she's well known by a group of bartenders as a woman always wanting to party and looking for a good time. Terrance isn't the only one, someone wrote. And you do see her liking to party, and she has these hats with telling sayings on them, misbehaving and all that. But Lindsay's bragging would come to an end. Lindsay orchestrated a plan to murder her estranged husband with Terrance, and the lovers enlisted the help of an alleged hitman. His name is Faron Newbold Jr., 28 years old, according to authorities. So this is what the documents say. On July 16th, 2023, at Abaco, while being together, did, with a common purpose, agree to commit an offense, namely the murder of Richard Shiver, a police report said. So police discovered the plan, oddly enough, as they were investigating reports of a burglary at this Grabber's Bar and Grill. But while they were investigating that, they found WhatsApp messages on the phone of the suspect which detailed this murder plot. It's crazy how people do that. Lindsay, Terrance, and Faron were all later arrested and flown to Nassau, where they were put in jail. Now, a Nassau news outlet said they were arrested in Guana Cay, which is where Baker's Bay is. It all looks gorgeous, oh my goodness. And they were flown into Nassau to be charged, which is where we see the video of the culprits walking with authorities. This video of the trio doing their perp walk in the airport is going viral. Faron at one point appears to flip off the camera. It's hard to tell. He is handcuffed to Terrance. The men are handcuffed together, surrounded, flanked by a couple of Bahamian police officers, I guess, and Lindsay's in the back. She doesn't look handcuffed. The men are handcuffed, but Lindsay doesn't appear to be handcuffed, but a female authority is holding on to Lindsay via her backpack. And they're kind of casually, it's that nervous laughter, I'm sure, like the realization of, oh my goodness, Lindsay's thinking she ruined her life. So police arrested Lindsay Shiver, 36, her lover, Terrance Adrian Bethel, 28, of Guana Cay, Abaco, and suspected hitman Faron Newbold Jr., 28, of the Bahamas. Police in the Bahamas say they uncovered this plot on July 16th while they were searching the phone and social media app of a suspected burglar. So even though the newspapers are saying the Shivers have a home in the Bahamas where Lindsay first began her affair with Bethel, women in the know on Facebook are saying the articles have it wrong. The house in the Bahamas belongs to Robert's parents, which would make sense. I mean, they probably have properties all over the world with that $5 billion company his dad once served as CEO for. But upon Robert finding out again about the affair, he filed for divorce. That's when Lindsay and Terrance and Faron were said to have concocted this plan to get rid of Robert. They probably wanted to just keep the party going, take over all the money. On July 16th, 2023, at Abaco, while being together, did, with a common purpose, agree to commit an offense. That's what the police report said. This is why the trio ultimately appeared in court before Acting Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley on Friday. So what's next for Lindsay? According to Lindsay's attorney, Reckley is not authorized to grant her bail. Of course, they wanted to get bail. To receive bail, Lindsay will have to apply with the Supreme Court in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Therefore, authorities are currently holding Lindsay, Bethel, and Newbold Jr. in jail. They were not required to enter a plea, and they are currently being held in jail until they return to court on October 5th. I hope we can get video footage in the Bahamas in the courtroom. Lindsay's most recent Instagram post was on April 9th, 2023, standing with her husband who wore a Robert Shiver name tag and their 3 boys, captioned, "He is risen," for Resurrection Sunday. At that point, Lindsay was still wearing her wedding ring. Now, as it stands today, the Bahamian Embassy in Nassau did not confirm or deny if it is involved in the case, referring a News 4 question to the Bahama Court News article, which reports that the 3 suspects face 30 to 60 years in prison. My goodness, if she got 30 years, she wouldn't be out until she's 66. What makes people so desperate? Just money, drugs, affairs? Detectives, ironically, haven't solved the break-in. However, the series of WhatsApp conversations allegedly revealed the trio's plans to get rid of Robert. Isn't that quite ironic? It's like the Lord led cops to find something so much worse than a break-in. But the accused were denied bail on the murder conspiracy charge after they appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley on July 28th. So that was just Friday. Their legal team filed an urgent bail application in an attempt to have them released that same day. Yeah, life is probably so different for them in that jail compared to the lavish lifestyle that Lindsay displayed on her private jets, in her pool house, in her home. However, the application was denied because the prosecution is objecting to their release, and none of the accused are sick, none of them are juveniles, none of them are elderly, or none of them are pregnant. Lindsay might want to get pregnant real quick. Would that get her out of jail? No, I'm kidding. Emergency bail applications are heard within 48 hours of filing. To date, a new bail application has not been filed. Psalm 3:5. I lay down and slept safely. I awakened, for the Lord sustains me. What a crazy case this is. I feel this one's going to go viral even more big time as places are catching up with it. More and more news about it is coming out. It's just so sad for me to see a family break up. You know, you just love these college sweetheart marriages. Lindsay apparently was a cheerleader, but not for Auburn University. She had transferred from a different university. So it's like the cheerleader, the football player got together. They had these 3 handsome, beautiful boys, but I don't know what went wrong. I don't know if Lindsay's claims of violence against her husband are really true. Some people are saying it's just the bulldog ways of her attorney. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't want anyone to have suffered abuse. But no matter what happened, if Lindsay is guilty of what she's being accused of, literally plotting to get rid of her husband, once again, here we are, another woman. You know, I'm thinking of Corey Richens' case too. 3 boys, young dad, plotting to take him off the earth. Whereas in Corey's case, unfortunately, it wasn't caught before it happened. She's standing trial eventually for aggravated murder of Eric Richins. Took the dad away allegedly from his 3 boys. At least in Lindsay and Robert's case, the plan was foiled. And so Robert is safe, the boys are safe, but imagine the emotions of their mom being taken away from them by her own design, her own bad choices. Thankfully, they have their dad and extended family to just live out the rest of this life with if Lindsay is indeed found guilty. And the young men as well who got involved and probably saw stars. You know, it looks so gorgeous when you're watching her videos or just videos of the area and the partying and the blue water, and you know, it makes you want to go swimming and all of that. All that glitters isn't gold. It's just better to be bored. Like one Holocaust survivor, I will always remember her saying, better to have just a boring night at home, you know, than to endure anything worse. And now I think of Lindsay's life now and what led her down that dark path and how she portrayed herself as this Trump-loving Christian Republican woman with all this money and beauty and fun times and fun drinks and travel and extravagant lifestyle. And now look at her. She's in jail in the Bahamas. Will she be extradited here? I don't know. I need to look into the laws of the Bahamas and figure out. I hope we get to see it in court. I hope it moves along quickly. I hope we get to see the trial. I hope there's justice here. It's a very sad case, but for the most part, you hate to see it end in such a destructive way. A family broken apart. Thank God Robert's life was saved and spared. The young men involved too, likely falling for the gold and the glitter and the promise of riches and whatever. And now their lives too, young men, are also ruined. I mean, they're getting lit up from what I can tell on Terrance's Facebook. He's getting lit up with comments like bad stuff. We'll follow this case. We'll keep following Lindsay's case, Corey's case, all these cases. Unfortunately, there is not a dearth of cases where this kind of craziness is happening, but what it can teach us on this side of things is to stay away from all evil. Just no matter what's happening, don't look for pleasure in too much drinking or illicit drugs or affairs or trying to walk in the path of the wicked. And we see it's really true. The wisdom of Psalms, the wisdom of Proverbs, how walking down that dark path can really lead you in a bad place. But by now, if Lindsay is really a faithful woman, she can tell some truth and she can serve out her time if found guilty and show some remorse and be contrite. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens here and everywhere. Thank you so much for watching.